Race of the week is the Pennine Ridge, a grade 3 from beautiful Belmont Park. This is a prep race, despite having the big $200,000 purse. For a lot of these horses will be joining the Triple Turf Series at Belmont and Saratoga this summer, and drew an 8-horse field with some really good horses. You take this and then the Penn National Mile, Turf Mile, and those will be a lot of the horses competing in the Turf Triple this summer. And Value Proposition leads the way from the rail. Impressive maiden winner. This horse has turf breeding on both sides. Chad Brown trained, overcame a slow pace and especially a slow second quarter. 26 and 26 were kind of the fractions for the opening half mile in the maiden win, and then exploded down the lane and picked up a 4-length win. Gets a new jockey for this race, switches from Joel Rosario to Lescano. Lescano riding well at the Belmont Park meet. This horse is definitely a contender. Swamp Rat, a son of Hat Trick, out of a Smart Strike mare. Philip Gleaves trains. Tampa, a nice second in the $100,000 stakes race, has 5 lifetime races and just the one win. That was his maiden win, but it was at Belmont, and he came from off the pace that day. He is definitely a threat to close down the lane. DeMarcellar, another Chad Brown trained horse. This one has back-to-back wins, including a win at Keeneland. I think this horse is going to take a lot of money. He's been favored in both his starts, so he'll probably be a slight favorite in this race over Value Proposition. Social Paranoia, trained by Todd Pletcher. This horse picked up an 8-length win in a maiden race, especially after knocking at the door in 5 maiden races as a 2-year-old. But he's kind of the now horse. He picked up the 8-length win on a undercard American turf race on Derby Day. He ran 3rd and ran against Digital Age, who picked up the win in that race, but A Thread of Blue is also in that race. That really was a pretty stacked race. He was favored just a little under 3-1. He's been favored in 3 of his lifetime 7 races. Social Paranoia, definitely one you can use. I'm thinking he can run near the pace. I'm just not sure he's going to be able to close it off down the stretch. Clint Maroon, 3 straight wins, including 2 at Gulfstream and then a win in a smaller stakes race at Aqueduct. Nothing to fault on this horse. Should get the distance. Maybe a little slower speed figure-wise than some of the top contenders, but you know, when they get to the lawn, they either like the turf or they don't. So definitely a live contender. Magnificent McCool has ran 8 times. Steve Asmussen trained. He was the beneficiary of moving from dirt to turf last time, a new trainer change. I think he's a little outclassed in this spot, but again, just a tough field. Seismic Wave, Bill Mott trained, son of Tappet, picked up back-to-back wins and then lost in the American turf race. Was motoring late, though, went from 10th place down to 4th, and in a blanket finish was 4th. So any of those top 5 horses out of that American turf, they can switch it up and run in any order in their next race. Henley's Joy was 8th in the American turf. He comes back. He had a little bit rougher trip, I would say, and was a little bit against the grain of the pace. He made his move too soon. He made his move from the half-mile pole to the 3/4 pole, and you need to wait. The horse that usually makes the last move on the turf is the winning move that wins. So that's the 8 horses. Again, I think Social Paranoia and DeMarcellar are the most likely favorites. Value Proposition is my selection. Of very impressive debut victory. Looks like he can make that last move. Jockey Switch is a little bit tricky. Swamp Rat and DeMarcellar are also horses to consider. This really is a tough race. Somebody's going to get bet down to 8-5, 9-5, and I'm just not sure a horse should be lower than 5-2 in this race. So that's a look at the Pennine Ridge Saturday at beautiful Belmont Park.